Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook have been criticized for the way the company has handled user data, hate speech, and misinformation. Elon Musk and Tesla have faced scrutiny over worker safety and the way the electric car maker has prompted Autopilot, its advanced driver assistance feature. These two billionaires have made it clear over the years that they are not very fond of each other, but how far does this rivalry really go? The Focus has all the details. Where it all began. In September of 2016, SpaceX was testing its Falcon 9 rocket at a launch site in Cape Canaveral, Florida. Shortly after 9 a.m., the rocket exploded, destroying Facebook's Amos 6 satellite, which was supposed to ride the rocket into space. Witnesses reported seeing a fireball, hearing multiple explosions, feeling shockwaves in buildings several miles away at Kennedy Space Center, and seeing a plume of smoke rising from Launch Complex 40. SpaceX said in a statement, SpaceX can confirm that in preparation for today's static fire, there was an anomaly on the pad resulting in the loss of the vehicle and its payload. Per standard procedure, the pad was clear and there were no injuries. Elon Musk also tweeted confirming that the failure occurred while the rocket was being fueled for a test firing of its main engines, part of preparations for a planned launch of the commercial communications satellite in which Facebook had a stake. The satellite was part of Facebook's Internet.org project to deliver internet connectivity to the developing world and would have been Facebook's first satellite in orbit. Experts valued the deal at $95 million, giving Facebook a split share of the satellite's bandwidth for up to 5 years. Facebook had partnered with French company Eutelsat, which also planned to use the Amos 6 satellite to expand broadband internet access in sub-Saharan Africa, and Zuckerberg was in Africa promoting the satellite's benefits ahead of the launch. Several members of Congress expressed support for SpaceX, and industry analysts said the event was unlikely to derail the company or the emerging commercial space industry it represents over the long term. However, Mark Zuckerberg did not share the same sentiments. He openly aired his frustration after the launch failed, writing on Facebook, "Deeply disappointed to hear that SpaceX's launch failure destroyed our satellite that would have provided connectivity to so many entrepreneurs and everyone else across the continent." Since then, Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk don't see eye to eye. Conflicting views on artificial intelligence. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and Musk have disagreed about the future of artificial intelligence. While Zuckerberg has said AI could one day improve health and safety, Musk has said the potential capabilities of AI make it more dangerous than nuclear weapons. Musk has repeatedly warned that AI will soon become just as smart as humans and said that when it does, we should all be scared because humanity's very existence is at stake. His views contrast with many AI researchers working in the field, and it has been reported that Musk's relationship with the AI community is complex. A large portion of the community actually think he's a negative distraction. Multiple AI researchers from different companies also say that they see Musk's AI comments as inappropriate and urge the public not to take his views on AI too seriously. Musk is not the only tech billionaire who is worried about what AI will mean for humanity. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said that in the near future, robots doing more work will be positive, but he expressed concern about the potential of artificial intelligence in the long run. Zuckerberg, on the other hand, says AI is already helping diagnose diseases, and he pointed to self-driving cars as a way that artificial intelligence will improve our lives. During a Facebook Live broadcast, a viewer asked Zuckerberg for his thoughts on Musk's anxieties around AI. Zuckerberg said, "I have pretty strong opinions on this, with AI especially. I'm really optimistic, and I think that people who are naysayers and try to drum up these doomsday scenarios, I don't understand it. It's really negative, and in some ways I actually think it's pretty irresponsible." Musk, who has repeatedly called for regulation and caution when it comes to new AI technology, shot back on Twitter writing, "I've talked to Mark about this. His understanding of the subject is limited." Ouch. Well, even as the debate continues, AI also continues its creep into our daily lives, from the new facial recognition software to the increasingly savvy responses from digital assistants Siri, Alexa, and Cortana. SpaceX and Tesla deleted on Facebook. The Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal concerning the obtaining of the personal data of millions of Facebook users without their consent by British consulting firm Cambridge Analytica, predominantly to be used for political advertising. The collection of personal data by Cambridge Analytica was first reported by Harry Davies, a journalist for The Guardian. He reported that Cambridge Analytica was working for the United States Senator Ted Cruz, using data harvested from millions of people's Facebook accounts without their consent. Mark Zuckerberg first apologized for the situation with Cambridge Analytica on CNN, calling it an issue, a mistake, and a breach of trust. He explained that he was responding to the Facebook community's concerns and that the company's initial focus on data portability had shifted to locking down data. However, when news broke of the Cambridge Analytica data breach, the number of likes, posts, and shares on the site decreased by almost 20%. Also, a little after a week after the story was initially published, Facebook stock fell by about 24%, equivalent to $134 billion. The public also reacted to the data privacy breach by initiating the campaign #DeleteFacebook, with the aim of starting a movement to boycott Facebook. The hashtag was tweeted almost 400,000 times on Twitter within a 30-day period after the news of the data breach. The co-founder of WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, joined in on the movement by declaring it was time to delete the platform. Brian Acton tweeted, "It is time, #delete Facebook," to which Elon Musk responded, "What's Facebook?" A fan responded to Musk's tweet asking whether he'd delete the SpaceX Facebook page, to which Musk responded, "I didn't realize there was one. Will do." Another fan pointed out that Tesla had a Facebook page too, and soon after, both the SpaceX and Tesla pages disappeared from Facebook. Musk said it wasn't a political statement and that he just found Facebook unsettling. Elon Musk calls Facebook lame. In February 2020, Sacha Baron Cohen tweeted, "We don't let one person control the water for 2.5 billion people. We don't let one person control electricity for 2.5 billion people. Why do we let one man control the information seen by 2.5 billion people? Facebook needs to be regulated by governments, not ruled by an emperor." The comedian criticized Mark Zuckerberg and social networks as a whole, calling them part of the biggest propaganda machine in history. Just before the tweet by Sacha Baron Cohen, it was reported that Facebook had agreed to pay a $550 million privacy-related settlement in Illinois. The suit in question alleged that the site had broken the state's Biometric Information Privacy Act. In response to the tweet from Cohen, which called for more regulation on Facebook, Musk urged people to delete Facebook. He replied by giving a boost to the #delete Facebook hashtag and declaring with exciting accuracy, "It's lame." In case you're wondering, Elon Musk is also not on Instagram, which is owned by Facebook. Musk's Instagram account, which had more than 8 million followers, just disappeared one morning. Of course, his exit had everybody curious, so Musk gave an explanation for deactivating the account with a tweet by quoting a poem by T.S. Eliot saying, "Instagram is so thirsty, yet gives you death by water." He also had a much simpler explanation to the exit in 3 easy words: "Didn't like it." We are not sure if it had anything to do with Mark Zuckerberg, but Elon Musk deleted his Instagram around the same time Azealia Banks posted what appeared to be an intimate series of direct messages between her and Musk's girlfriend, Grimes, to her Instagram stories. In those stories, Banks accused Musk of tapping her phone, among other things. According to Banks, her own lawyer then took away her phone at Musk's lawyer's instruction. COVID-19 response. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg also can't agree on how the government should handle the COVID-19 pandemic. First, Elon Musk expressed skepticism about the threat from the coronavirus. Then he condemned what he saw as the excessive measures to combat it. The lockdown in California meant the closure of its main production plant in Fremont, and Musk wanted it open again. Then came a big tweet in capital letters: "Free America now." Musk continued his fit against measures meant to keep Americans from being infected with a deadly and incurable virus by retweeting an article written by a conservative think tank employed doctor and accused the government of misleading citizens. For Mark Zuckerberg, a rush to return to normality was a really bad idea for both public health and the economy. He said, "While there are massive societal costs from the current shelter-in-place restrictions, I worry that reopening certain places too quickly before infection rates have been reduced to very minimal levels will almost guarantee future outbreaks and worsen longer-term health and economic outcomes." Of course, it was easy to understand why the 2 billionaires had completely differing opinions. Facebook employees could do a pretty good job of keeping Facebook ticking over from home, while Tesla staff could not build any cars in their backyards. In fact, at the beginning of quarantine, Facebook's monthly user account reached a record high of 3 billion, thanks to tens of millions of quarantined people who turned to various social media apps to kill time at home. The Capitol riots and Facebook. Yes, we still can't forget that fateful day, and we won't even get into the details. After police cleared protesters from the Capitol ground to allow Congress to resume vote counting and certifying election results, Musk tweeted a meme showing bricks lining up like dominoes. The smallest front brick was labeled "A website to rate women on campus," a reference to the early version of Facebook. And the largest tile in the back was superimposed with a tweet by the New York Times Magazine correspondent Mark Leibovich that read, "The Capitol seems to be under the control of a man in a Viking hat." Elon Musk's message was clear. The shocking rampage was the culmination of years of political and ideological polarization fueled by social media platforms, primarily Facebook. Amidst the riot, Facebook removed a video released by President Trump spouting claims of election fraud. The platform also blocked the president from posting content for 24 hours, then extended it for at least 2 weeks, and perhaps indefinitely. Zuckerberg's decision to suspend Trump came after years of allegations that Facebook has been soft on Trump and that it has programmed its algorithm to prioritize right-wing media outlets and personalities. It has also received heat for providing a platform for the extremist groups responsible for the riots. In addition to using Facebook to grow their influence, the rioters coordinated attacks on the site, including planning the attack via publicly viewable groups and events that were still up on Facebook. WhatsApp versus Signal. In the latest jab, Elon Musk criticized Facebook's data-sharing practices, tweeting another meme about Facebook that mentioned the company spying on users following the announcement by the Facebook-owned WhatsApp that it would start forcing users to share their personal data with Facebook. The practice is nothing new, but the policy updated grabbed headlines over concerns users will have almost no way to keep their WhatsApp data separate from Facebook. Elon Musk then tweeted to his millions of followers, "Use Signal." Of course, that raised the question, why is Elon telling people to move from WhatsApp to Signal? Facebook is a business focused on mining people's data largely for ad targeting purposes. Signal, on the other hand, is run by a nonprofit foundation. It's gone as far to refuse venture capital funding to prevent financial profit from driving its focus. The app has also received endorsements from NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. The encrypted messaging app Signal saw a wave of new users after Tesla CEO Elon Musk told his Twitter followers to use the service. The flood of signups even briefly caused Signal to delay sending out the verification codes needed to activate new user accounts. In recent days, Signal has managed to beat WhatsApp for the top spot in India, Germany, France, Austria, Finland, Hong Kong, and Switzerland, and the nonprofit behind the app said it's ecstatic about the surge in activity. Facebook responded by saying that in practice, the new WhatsApp privacy policy will mean no change for users when it comes to chats with friends or family members. Instead, the update is mainly about the data businesses can store and collect over WhatsApp chats with users. As far as we can tell, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg will not be buddies anytime soon. But we'd love to know your thoughts on this rivalry. Sound off in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to The Focus.